Good evening, my friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. Boy, oh boy, do I have a lot of boxes here, boy. I've got about three and a half boxes here, and I actually have two more, but I can't do 5.5 boxes. Sorry, guys. I'm only human, and I'm only trying to give myself around an hour with these little episodes. But guys, like I said, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm like the comic Santa Claus here. I've got tons of books to share with you today that have come back from CGC. I'm located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And these comics are not my comics. No. They're your comics. These are the comics that belong to my clients. You know, sometimes I have the odd book that's mine, but generally speaking, they're not mine. They're all yours. So if you do see your comics coming back, congratulations, they're back. Wait for my text. I usually, when the books come back, after they're sorted, it takes me a few days to sort the books once I do these live streams. And then once all the books are in order, I contact you via text so you can come on in and pick them up at my office in Oshawa. Or if you're long distance, of course, I'll mail them back to you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And today we're also going to talk a little bit about whether or not any other company could ever take over for CGC or dethrone CGC from its grading palace. You know, CGC seems to be able to just keep moving along. You know what I mean? We're going to talk a little bit about, some of the ups and downs CGC has faced in the recent years and things they've done. And ask that question, could another company actually ever overtake them as the leader, as the industry standard for comic book grading? Okay, guys, listen. A bunch of you here right now. There's 20 of you already in the house. Hi, while you're here, before I get started, hit that like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button if you've done so already. I'm also going to go to my chat room in a little bit. If you have any questions for me, that's the place to ask those questions. And you can ask questions about anything pertaining to comics or fandom. I love to talk about all kinds of different topics. You can ask those questions, but to do so, you must be a subscriber, my friends. So, yeah, do that. All right, here we go. First off, you came to see books. We got books for you. I changed things around here with my overhead cam. Let's see how this looks. I don't know if I like that or not. Hold on. Hold on a sec, guys. Whoop, cancel that. I'm trying to fix something here. No, not that one. Okay, I just messed that up. Forget it. I'll go here. Here we go. First book, 9.8. Black Panther #3. Like I told you guys, I like starting these off with 9.8s, and I swear to you, I did not select this book. Next, we have Static #1 in a 9.8. Edge of the Spider-Verse in a 9.8. Another one in a 9.8. I won't put that one out because you already saw one. Why do you got to see both? Another Spider-Gwen book here. Ooh, this one's damaged. Ooh, look at that big crack right there. Right there, look at that. All right, anyways, 9.8 nonetheless. I believe these are, I'm not sure whose books. Oh, another crack too. Oh! I love the 9.8s, but I don't like the cracks. Shoot, another one right there. 9.8 right there. 2 cracks. I better check these carefully for any other cracks because I don't want to miss my window. That Lethal Protector in a 9.8. Secret Wars #1. Oh, I don't think it's cracked anywhere. Boom, 9.8. And then another Black Panther #1 and a 9.8. There you go. Look at that. A whole bunch of 9.8s. A few cracked ones to start us off, which kind of sucks. I'm going to have to, let me check this other 9.8 here to make sure there's no cracks on it. That really blows. You know, the turnaround time is not crazy right now. I mean, this is the fastest I've ever been, my friends. 3 to 4 months, books back in hand. That's crazy. Unheard of. But that's the way it is nowadays. So, it just sucked that I got to send these back. It takes 3 weeks usually to get them back. So what I'll do with these guys, and I already have my box packed for tomorrow, so I'm not going to put these in. This will go out next week. So I'll put these ones off to the side here, so I'll know to create a special. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. To create a special invoice for these, mechanical error invoice. That one was cracked too. No, that was not cracked. That was good, I think, right? I want to make sure. I forget which one. I think it was just the two of them. 2 or 3, wasn't it? That one's okay. And these two are both all right also, I believe. Static number 1. All right, that's all good. Sam's in the house. Hey, Sam, to this weekend I'm going to see you, right, my friend? And listen to Sam. He knows what he's talking about when he's telling you to thumb me up. Thumb up the doc. All right, we'll keep moving here. Moving right along. Oh, nice. Moon Knight number 1 from 1980. In a 9.8. We've got a Wolverine number 1 from 88. In a 9.8. Another one in a 9.8. A Punisher number 1 from 87, also in a 9.8. Voltron number 1 in a 9.8. Now a bunch of these were crack and press. I forget which ones they are. I don't have the actual invoice in front of me, but these are. This is a pre-screen order. I believe 6 to 8 of these books were cracks. They were 9.6s, and we bumped them up to 9.8. Now, if you saw that recent Ultimate Fallout 4 on my Facebook and Instagram page, that book was a part of these are Chris's books, I believe. So yeah, there were about 5 or 6, I believe, that we cracked to try to get him up to a 9.8. And it looks like it worked for the most part. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars Canadian price variant with a custom label and an 8.5. My stack here is really... There we go. Come on, get on there. There we go. I don't want them to topple over on me. There we go. We have another one in an 8.0. Is that also Canadian price? Yes, it is a Canadian price variant. Wow. Look at that one. That's a pretty book, guys. Nothing wrong with that. That's a big book. Very nice. We are halfway through box number 1. I have 2.5 more boxes to go. Another Daredevil book. First Elektra and a 9.6 newsstand edition. Okay, guys, my stack is really high here. Remember, if you have questions about comic book pressing, comic book cleaning, the CGC process, anything to do with fandom, now's the time, guys. I make myself available every Tuesday at 8:30 to do unboxings and also, more importantly, to be here for my clients, answer any questions they might have about their books or about what's happening. This is kind of a catch-all way for me to talk to you. You know where I'm going to be every Tuesday at 8:30. You know, as long as I'm not sick or something like that. But so far, so good. Knock on wood. All's good. Okay. I'm going to put these invoices over here. I'm going to go over to the chat window now. And we will, I'll pack these babies up while I do it. Come on over there. There we go. Sam says hello again. John says hello. Brian's here too. Joey. Hey, Joey. How's it going? Hey, Doc. How you doing? And everyone excited for tonight's unboxing. Joey, I got a feeling your books are... Some of your books are probably here. I think. Maybe some of these are your books. I don't even know. I don't know for sure. Louis here. Yo, what's up, Comic Doc? Yo, Louis, what's up with you, my friend? Frank, yeah, I haven't heard from you in a long time. How's it going? Happy New Year to you, Frank. Yeah, I've got a bunch of your books back already. We're waiting for a few more, but a lot are already here. Astro Lucky. Hey, Doc, how's it going? Did you see the interview with Matt Nelson? I did see the interview with Matt Nelson. The 99 Newsstand did, and the Avengers, I think his name is, did. It's pretty good. I mean, what do you want the poor guy to do, man? I mean, they can only say so much because it's under investigation, right? So that's just kind of the nature of the beast. He's not going to be able to just, tell too much information, but they're doing what they can. They're doing what they can. I mean, what more can they do? I just hope they don't discover more books like that. I'm of the thought that if one guy was doing it, more guys were doing it. But I mean, who knows? But maybe they weren't doing it as greedily as this dude was. This guy was seemed to really go to town with this little scam of his. How my books, John? Your books are heading out tomorrow. They're heading out to CGC tomorrow. They're all packed and ready to go. If no storm, I'll be there Saturday. Let's hope there's no storm, because we've had a couple of snow squalls, and I'm done with it. I'm done with the winter. Time for the comic doctor to move to California, I tell you. Hey, P-Man, how's it going? Troy, how's it going? Joey, haven't seen any yet, but we'll keep an eye out. Definitely excited to get them back and see what they come back as. Me too, Joey. But I have a feeling some are here. Maybe not in these boxes. I do have more boxes here. And more boxes on the way as well, my friends. And more boxes on the way. All right. Give me 1 sec to kind of reestablish these books here. They're not... All right. All right. I'll go like this. It's easier when I put a stack of books right in front of me, I find. All right. Here we go. All right. Another 9.8. Gotta love it. We got a 9.8.1. Come on. There you go. We have an Amazing Spider-Man 328. Also in a 9.8. We have a 9.2 of X Factor number 1. We've got Batman, Death in the Family, 426. This is part 1. Nice. Heir to the Empire and a 9.8. Very nice. This book is massive. This book still, right here in front of me, is still garnering some pretty good bucks, man. Especially if you got, I guess, a newsstand copy. But even the direct copies are garnering some great money. Right here, 9.8, Hulk 340. Wow. Not bad. A lot of 9.8s in that box. Like to see that. Sam asks, what month are you on? We are in the middle of October right now. October was a busy month because I had my grand opening where I got a lot of books submitted at my grand opening, if you recall. And I also did the Toronto Comic Book Show in October. So October was a bit of a busier month. So a lot of submissions came in. But we're hammering through it. Now, Napura's out for 2 weeks on vacation. So it's just me and Charlo. When the girl's away, the men will play. Right, guys? Yeah, we're probably not getting as much done. That's for darn sure. But we're going to keep... we'll try our best to get through as much as we possibly can over the next couple of weeks so she gets back. Oh, and I'm also going to be, if you are in the Toronto area and you frequent the Toronto Comic Book Show, and if you haven't, why haven't you? Come on out to the Toronto Comic Book Show in February. Oh my God, I'm not sure what the day is. It's Family Day weekend. I think it's Family Day weekend in Toronto. I'll be setting up again, taking books for submissions for pressing and cleaning and CGC grading at Rob's Toronto Comic Book Show. And Rob always has giveaways at that show, so it's kind of fun. I lost my bag here, which is pretty good. Also, while I have you here, remember this Thursday, I'm interviewing Sweggelhaas. So if you follow Sweggelhaas on YouTube, he's going to be joining me this Thursday. We're going to be talking about, I hope we're not going to talk about the CGC scandal because that's all everybody's talking about now. I want to get back to it. I want to start talking about speculation and trends and things like that. He is the expert, right? He is the expert. So be sure to tune in this Thursday at 8:30 for that. Anyways, let's keep going here. I got to pack these babies away, my friends. This time of night's great. I like doing these unboxings at night, but I am, for some reason, this time of night, I'm scatterbrained. I'm really kind of tired. I think I do better a little bit later, believe it or not. I find that as the night moves on, I do better. All right, guys, just put these away. All right, there's box number 1. And all the submission forms are here. Okay, that's one box. Now they sent me a little baby box here. We'll do the little baby box now. We'll see what this is. This is one order of moderns, I believe. Lots of moderns. Dave, it was nice seeing you today too, my friend. Thanks for coming by. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Lots of Star Wars books here. So this could be Dave. This is probably Dave L's order because Dave is a big Star Wars guy. But I could be wrong. We have a few Star Wars fans. We have a Darth Vader number 1 in a 9.6. We've got Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron number 1. I would assume that's Wedge Antilles, and yes it is, and that's in a 9.8. We got an ASM Marvel. Come on, Kevin. See what I'm talking about? Scatterbrained. Marvel Team Up 141 Canadian price variant in an 8.5 CPV. Frank, do you have one of these in Canadian price variants 9.8 yet? Because you have the Secret Wars 8. You also now have the 252 in Canadian price variant. Now you need one of these in a 9.8, which is really hard to get, I believe, in a 9.8. We've got a 9.6 copy of Wolverine number 1, 9.6. We've got a Star Wars number 43, and this is a newsstand edition. Holy cow, man, they beat the crap out of this book or what? Well, it's got to, okay. 8.5. New Mutants 98 in a 9.6. Is that on here? Yeah, there it is. You see, guys, I would have put this, as a modern tier book because, generally speaking, New Mutants 98 is a big book in a 9.8, right? But in a 9.6, the price drops. So keep that in mind when I'm submitting your books. I do my best to try to save you as much money as possible. This could have went in under the high value because it's probably worth more than $400. I think. I don't know the price is reached, but I think it is. But I tried sending it in under the $400 as a modern, and it worked. So that's awesome. It's a bit of a pain when they call me on it because then I have to read. I have to send out. Amended invoices. These books just look really kind of warped to me. I don't know. 9.6 white pages. Another 9.6. White pages. White pages? White pages. Of course. I don't think there's any white pages in that book, to be honest. Running out of room, but I'll do a couple more. We had a 9.4 ASM 252 direct copy. 9.4. Now this one has a bit of the coloring is kind of off on this one. It's hard to tell, but it's kind of, it's got kind of a duller finish. And remember that Wolverine one I got back a few weeks ago with the WOL, the title was kind of duller, kind of pinkish, and they gave it an 8. Give me a break, right? This one's dull and it gets a 9.4, so I don't quite understand that. We got a 9.4 copy of Spider-Man Skating. Amazing Spider-Man Skating on Thin Ice number 1 and a 9.4. Joey, are these yours? Some of these are yours, I think. Jive Turkey, you got I got music going on in the back. You can hear it. I better turn it down because they'll get rid of the video. But yeah, that's the song I had. You're right. Little Lionel Richie now. I'm going to turn that down because I don't want to get stung. They'll get me. We got a Skating on Thin Ice and a 9.4. Okay, that stack is really high. So let me, I'll do it like this now. There's only about 5 more in this half box. We've got a 9.8 copy of Marvel Superhero Secret Wars number 8 and a 9.8. Now these are all the same. This is all the same invoice. 15 books. So if these are yours, Joey, congratulations on that one. Put that back right away. We've got an Excalibur number 1 and a 9.8 newsstand edition. Yo, he needs a, yo, says Frank, you need that 142, eh? 141. 141. Is it more? Is that 141 Marvel Team Up worth more in a Canadian price variant than the 252 or no? We've got a Black Panther number 1 and a 9.4. Oh, here's one of my favorite. I love this cover coming up right here now. We've got Avengers 144, first Hellcat, or becomes Hellcat. And a 9.4. Nice. And last but not least, we got a Star Wars with a crack. With another crack. Crap. Shadow of the Empire, Kenner Special, 9.6. It's got a crack right here by the grade. Look, right there, you can see it. So I got to pull this one out too. It's got to go back to CGC. That goes there. Oh snap, I'm happy with what I see. Most of them could be mine except for a few in the stack. Well, these are all part of the same invoice. So those last 15 books all belong to the same order. So if they're not all yours, it could be another person's order, Joey. David Clark did some research for us, guys. He says that Numius 98 and 96 is going for 500 to 600 right now. So there you go. Don't worry, Joe. We'll send it back. It'll come back pretty quick. It'll come back pretty quick. Yeah. Put these all back for you guys. You can have a look at the books as I go through them again. Would have liked to have seen a couple of 9/8s here with these Star Wars books. Now, Joey, were any of these crack and press? Refresh my memory. There was a couple, I think. Were they not? All right, it says box 1.5 down. We got other 2 boxes to go, my friends, so don't go anywhere. While you're waiting, hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right, one more to go. All right. You know, I haven't had a lot of cracks lately. That's kind of crappy. Already out of 2 boxes, I've got 3 cracked slabs. I got to go back. All right. Well, that's the order number right there. Box number 2.5. 2.5. All right, here we go. We start off with the Bronze Age key. New Gods number 1. 5.5. For all my DC friends. Yeah, we got a few DC books here, my guys. Oh, we got a whole bunch of goodies here. All right, here we go. We got a Submariner number 59 and a 5.0. It's a book you don't see too often. We've got a second appearance of the Punisher, I believe it is. Yes, in ASM 135 in a 9.2. Get that on there. There's a hard book to get in a high grade right here. Submariner number 8 in a 6.5. Ah, shoot. ASM number 50 in a 4.5. This one breaks my heart here. I was hoping to get a 9.8 out of this baby. 9.6 copy of ASM 194 Black Cat. And I think this belongs to... this came back 9.6 again. It was a 9.6 before. I think it just maintained it. This was a CPR right here. We tried to get up to a 9.8. I'm pretty sure that's the one. It's a nice copy. That stinks. We got a Submariner number 1 and an 8.5. Brian says, I hit the button like 3 times. Brian, thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. Joey says the CPR, the Kraken presses were the Mutants 98 and the Secret Wars 8. And yes, never mind, those are all of those I sent. Should get the other 3 soon. Super stoked about those you did. Great job. Thanks, Joey. I'm glad you got bumps on those. Brian says, thrilled to see some of my books back. The Daredevils and Secret Wars 8 Canadian price variants. Thrilled by the grades. Thanks, Kev. Thanks, Kevin, to you and your team. Thank you, Brian. You're very welcome. Batman 200. Neil Adams, I believe, cover. Is that right? Neil Adams cover? Yeah. In a 6.0. And a Shazam number 1. And a 9.6. That's a pretty book right there. All right. That's halfway through box number 2.5. 2.5. All right, put these back in here. Like that. You can look at them as I go through them again. David Clark, ASM 252 9.8 are more expensive than... Oh, they are, eh? Is it a big difference? Is it a big difference? And we're talking Canadian price variance too, right? I can tell you honestly from experience that I see a lot more 9.8 ASM 252s than I do Marvel Team-Ups 141s. That's for sure. But then again, I also see a lot more of the 252s submitted. But I don't see the 141s in 9.8 very much. That's why I was kind of shocked about that. I think some of these might be yours, Frank, I think. All right. Maybe we got another DC book here. Is that DC? Yeah, we got another. Oh, if you guys liked my thumbnail, get ready for some Ra's al Ghul. Here we go. All right. We've got a Batman 232. In a 4.0. We have an X-Men number 12, First Juggernaut, in a 3.5. Oh, and I think this one's Dave's. Dave, is this yours? I think so. Yeah, I think this is yours. It's a Spider-Man 78 in a 7.5. First Prowler, I believe, right? Is it the first Prowler or second Prowler? First Prowler. That's cool. Nice grade. Nice grade, 7.5. And then a 5.0 copy of ASM 112. Dr. Octopus cameo. So we got some Silver and Bronze Age stuff, books going on there. Moving right along. We also have... Oops, sorry about that. Some more nice DC books. We got Batman 244, 8.0 white pager. We also have an ASM 38 and a 5.5. As well as another ASM. Oh, look at this one. ASM 45, third appearance of Lizard in a 9.2 white pager. That's what I like to see. Number 19. Also, not one of my most favorite covers, that's for darn sure. And a 6.0. Very nice. So I'll put those ones away again. And as I do so, you can see the covers as I scroll backwards here through time. No, none so far, Kev. Waiting patiently. Well, watch last week's show because you had a bunch last week, Frank. I know that for sure. Brian says Canadian price variant 2. Oh wow, 252 is about 2,500 US more than an MTU 141. Okay, that's good to know. Sam says I think the ASM 252 goes for more because storyline wise, it's before the MTU 141 picks up as the heroes return from Battle World. Okay. And let's face it, it's a cover swipe from AF-15. It's a cool cover. Like, out of the three covers, I would have to put... Oh, that's a tough one. I like that Secret Wars 8 cover a lot. Which ones do you like better? Do you like the Secret Wars... Do you like the Secret Wars 8 or the ASM 252? I like them both. Or are you one of those strange people that like the 141 better? Because I don't. I really don't. I think most are going to say 252. I think. But that Secret Wars 8 with that orange cover, man, that awesome custom label now looks pretty sick. Pretty sick. All right. The next batch here for you. One more box to go, guys. In just a minute. All right. We got some Star Trek. We got some Star Trek. Okay, Brian, that's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. All right, here we go. Star Trek number 2 in a 6.0. Star Trek number 3. It's Gold Key goodness in a 7.0. I got a bunch of these somewhere I got to work on. Nice. Avengers number 71. First appearance of the Invaders. In a 9.4. X-Men 57. Neil Adams cover and art. In a 7.5. Off-white. Ooh. Look how tan that is. In a 7.5. Ultimate Fallout 4. Another one. Holy cow. So they're falling from heaven. 9.8. Marvel Tales. 100. In a 6.5. Right there. Ghost Rider number 1 in an 8.0. These are Peter's books, I believe. 8.0, not bad. I think I've got an 8.0 too. Oh, this is Ghost Rider. I've got an 8.0 of Marvel Spotlight. Oh, sorry, guys. We got an Iron Man #1 and a 4.0. I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at all these books today. All of them. How can I phrase this? They just look like they've been manhandled. A lot of them. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I'm not digging on that. I'm not digging on that. All right, there you go. That's box number 2. Again, I'll slip these away. James, hi Kevin, good to see you last week. You too, James. Get some great books there with some great grades. Congratulations. Marvel Tales, Star Trek, and Avengers are mine. Great job on Marvel Tales, Golden Age Canadian variant, and you got highest graded on the census. Okay, wait a second. Marvel Tales, Golden Age Canadian variant, and you got the highest. Oh, okay, that's good. No, you got the highest grade on the census, right? It's yours. Congratulations. That's awesome. And these are pretty rare books, I would assume, so who knows if one will ever knock it off the census. 252 has always been the money book. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, it obviously is. I could, when that one came in, I think Frank picked the one up. I couldn't believe how expensive they were. I knew they were heavily sought after. I just didn't realize they were quite so valuable, to be honest. I thought that the 252 Canadian price variant would have been in line with the Secret Wars, but nope, not even close. Like double the money. PhD in Nubis here. Hey, hope you're having an excellent day. Not too bad. Busy day today. Looking forward to just chilling out in about 35 minutes. Do you mean the case is being banged up or the slabs? Honestly, consume the living. A bit of everything. I find the slabs look like they've got more scuffs than usual. Does that make any sense? They're not like scratched up. Like even the Star Trek one right here. I noticed a couple of little scuffs and scratches. Like that's garbage, right? I don't like that. And you can't send that back with that anymore. They don't care, right? And then the books themselves look like they've been manhandled. They it's hard to explain. They just don't. Like I'm seeing things in the books that shouldn't be there. Anyways, it's I don't know what's going on over there, man. I don't know. And we're going to have this conversation, and maybe we'll have that conversation in just a moment, actually. In fact, I think I feel like having that conversation. Let's have that conversation right now, actually. Guys, I do have one more box to share with you, and I will talk to you in a second. I'll show the third box in a few moments. Let's talk about CGC for a moment, shall we? It's one of our favorite subjects. I'm sure we're going to talk a bit about it with Swaggelhaus on Thursday as well. Ooh, that's a big box I got there. But let's talk really quickly about CGC and their hold on comic collectors as the go-to company for third-party grading for comic books. And for a lot of different things too. Currency, coins, video games, cards, whatever. But so we're here for comic books. So we'll talk about that, right? They've had a hard month. That's an understatement, right? They've had a tough month, haven't they, CGC? I could talk about CGC from a dealer's point of view. I could talk about CGC from a consumer's point of view. from a consumer's point of view, I'll start right there. Like seeing what I'm just seeing right now, I've seen much worse than this, but I don't understand why the slabs are coming back with scuffs and scratches and why the books on the inside look like, Dave Clark said finger bends. I wouldn't go so far as to say finger bends, but they just look a little more, they look manhandled. That's the way I want to say it, manhandled. Like a lot of the problems we removed seem like they're there. And look it happens. You get reversions sometimes, but when I see that many, like I saw a lot of books there that, what's up? Like what the hell's going on? Who's handling these books? And going back to Stephen I's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles magazine that came back about a month ago, his book came back with a huge finger bend at the top of the book. I was livid. He was livid. I was livid. You know, like what the hell? Who's handling these books? And that's a problem. So from a consumer's point of view, in terms of quality control, they still have issues. And I get, you know, people run this place and people make mistakes and people are human and everything. But the thing is, when you're handling people's property, it's a whole different, it's a different cup of tea. You know what I mean? Like when I handle your books, guys, I handle your books better than I handle my own because I'm very cautious. It's not my stuff. You've entrusted your books with me. I'm going to treat your books like gold, you know? I don't care whether it's a $10 book or a $1,000 book or a $5,000 book. I'm going to, you know, it's your property. I'm going to make sure your books are taken care of. When I send them to CGC, I hope that they feel the same way. I think they would tell you that they do, but I don't know. Lately, I don't know what's going on. I've been seeing a lot of strange things happening, you know. And with this whole debacle that happened a month ago with the whole, you know, swapping of books that happened at CGC, you would think they'd be on their best behavior and that everything would leave there perfect. One of my clients in the States today from Colorado wrote to me and said, look at this. And one of the books came back to him. It was a Venom comic. It was a Venom comic, and the label had Marvel Secret Wars Canadian price variant on it. And it had a Secret Wars custom label. Like, what the hell? So, you know, now he's got to send his book back. And I've dealt with all that. I've helped him. I've sent him all the paperwork to do all that, the shipping label and everything. But why is this happening? Where is the quality control over at CGC? You know, okay, reholders, you got to figure that out. And they're figuring that out. I would assume they are. But what the hell? The average Joe that's sending in books, they need to be handled properly. And these slabs should not be coming to me with, look, like these ones got cracks on them. Okay, they got cracks on them. Shipping, it happens. I get it. But why are there scuffs and marks on these freaking comics, on the slabs? Why are they scuffed up? Why are they scratched up? If I order something from one of my suppliers, okay, and there's damage to what they've sent me, I will send it back for a refund. So if their slabs or manufacturers of their acrylic slabs are sending the slabs to them that are in a bad state, then why would they not send them back? But instead, it seems like they're just shipping them out. I don't get it. I actually think that all the slabs should have a plastic film on it, and we peel the film off. You know what I'm talking about, right? Some of these top loaders, these high-end top loaders, when you buy them, they got a blue film on it, and you peel the film off, and it reveals a perfect acrylic, crystal clear, acrylic face. These things should have that too, for the money we're paying for them. Anyways, so that's the consumer side. I don't want to get into it with the dealer side, because the dealer side, yeah. I mean, they screwed up some shipping recently. I've talked about it. Honestly, I spent about an hour back and forth with Patricia, who's an excellent customer service person, by the way, at CGC. At first, he said no, then they said yes, and they said no, and they finally gave me my refund. Although I have got no proof of the refund has been given to me yet, but they did take care of me in the end. My big complaint as a dealer is that they don't treat the dealers with any preferential treatment. Well, why should you get preferential treatment over me? Well, maybe because I send in 400 to 500 books a month. Maybe because I'm trying to do a service for my clients, and you would think that the company I'm sending them to would want me to keep sending more and to keep things moving smoothly without problems and hiccups. So that's my only thing. I think they need to treat the dealers better. The dealers that send books in, like I said before, there are a lot of dealers that send in 10 books a year. Like the dealers that send in monthly and send in a lot of books should be treated with a little bit more care, I think. Anyway, that's my opinion. That's my biggest complaint. Now, in regards to them ever losing control of their place at the top of the comic book grading kingdom, is it possible? Do you think it could happen? Consume living. Maybe the king is falling a little bit. Maybe. My Giant Size X-Men came back with more waves than Lake Ontario. Funny enough, Brian's right. We sent his book in to have it pressed and cleaned and sent back. It went up a grade. It looks worse. Right, Brian? The book looks worse, but it went up a grade. Okay. The Real Red Piled Vegan. I'm considering sending my keys to CBCS if they can't figure it out in the next 2 to 3 months. That's what I want to talk about here, guys. Okay, do me a favor. Go over to heritage.com, have a look around, look at what's coming up, and count how many CBCS slabs you see versus how many CGC slabs you see. The problem is all these huge auction houses are using CGC primarily, and they're everywhere. You know, when Heritage is using them and Comic Link is using them, and they use CBCS as well, but not to the same extent that they're using CGC. CGC has got a very strong foothold in here. If you get one of the most recent Heritage Comics catalogs and look through it, I had a bunch, I tossed them, I should have kept them. Every book was a CGC slab. I don't think I even saw one CBCS slab in there. So, I mean, the Red Piled Vegan, be careful when you're sending your books to CBCS, especially if they're your keys, because the keys will get more money, it seems, if they're in a CGC slab. So regardless of all the bullshit that's going on over there, me complaining about quality control, you complaining about quality control, the scandal, all that, the books still bring in more money at auction and sales than do CBCS slabs or PGX, of course, PGX slabs or any other slab for that matter. So how on earth can anybody overtake them? That's the question. How can CBCS gain momentum on them or any other company, a new company? How can a new company gain momentum at CGC? They are, they're like 100 paces ahead of everybody, it seems. I'm going to say right now, I think it's very unlikely for another company to overtake CGC at this point. I really do. The question that I said was, can another company do it? Can it happen? Sure it could. I'm not saying it could never. It's impossible. All I'm saying is the likelihood is very, very slim, in my opinion. What do you think? I want to know what you think. Let me know. A bunch of dope smokers. Well, I hope not. Can you imagine that? Oh my God. Someone's handling your AF-15 after smoking a bowl. Thanks. Sam says, I don't think the people in Quebec are comic fans. I think they are cheap labor in QC. Oh, sorry, Quebec. Told you, my mind's a mush at this time of night. I don't think people in quality control, not Quebec, are comic fans. I think they are cheap labor to get books out. Well, they are. And if you go to the CGC homepage and go under hiring or jobs or whatever, they have a bunch of jobs they're hiring. You know what the starting wage is? $16 an hour. I'm not sure. Any American friends, any friends in Florida there can tell us what the minimum wage in Florida is? It's probably $16 an hour. So what kind of quality control are you going to get from people that barely make enough to survive? Brian says, has the CGC quality gone downhill since they got bought by private equity dollars? Once this happens, it's about money and return on investment for the PE guys. So corners get cut. Well, according to Matt Nelson, if you watched the interview yesterday over at Devenger's website or YouTube channel, he said that, we're all, since they got bought out, they're still, it's still good people working there and love comics. They work hard and, it's a real close-knit family and blah, blah, blah and all that. But I have a hard time believing that the quality control is there. Look, time is money. I get it. Believe me, I get it. Time is money. And, a lot of you have been with me for a long time when I've had turnaround times that were getting up to 9 months, for everything. And I thank you for sticking with me. But I can honestly tell you, I'm not lying here. This is 100% true. We are very slow at what we do at the shop and at our facility because we take our time. And we look over every single book 2 times, 3 times. Each one goes in sometimes once or twice, 3 times, 5 times sometimes if we're not happy. Now, some pressures will go, if you're doing it 5 times, you're not doing it right. Yeah, if you're doing it once, maybe you're not doing it right. Because maybe you're leaving stuff on the book that needs to be gone. Now, some books can get done once, but some can't. All I'm saying, guys, is time is money. Anybody who's saying they can whip through a large quantity of books in a very small period of time, don't think that a lot of attention to detail is happening. And that's what's happening at CGC, in my opinion. They are bombarded with a lot of incoming books. Now, have they let people go since the boom is gone? They said they didn't, but maybe they did. Maybe they have let people go. Maybe they don't have as many people working there anymore. And maybe and again, I'm speculating here. I don't know. But maybe they're... Maybe they're trying to get through quotas, right? When you have a quota and you have to get through this many books in this amount of time, then corners are going to be cut. Exactly what you said right there. Brian agrees. It's good. Brian Bowman, cutting corners like letting reholders with different books and I'm getting through. Tell me about it. Marco's here. Hey, Marco, how's it going, buddy? Good evening. CGC is entrenched at this point to lose, and prices are based on CGC grading standards. Yeah, but I look again. I was talking to Dave today when he came to the shop. Nobody has said to me, Kevin. Actually, that's not true. There's a client from Montreal who's told me to kind of hold off on sending his books to CGC until maybe hold off until things get figured out or sorted out over there. But I'm going to tell you that's one person. Everybody is like, send. I'll tell you, I just sent 7 of my own big books down. They're heading out tomorrow of my own. I'm not going to stop. I mean, it's business as usual as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I would like some quality control, Brian says, I consume the living. You're right. These are some really big corners to cut. Tell me about it. Mr. Chandler says, people are too invested in CGC to want to make the change to CBCS, even if they're as good or better in certain aspects. And that's a very good point too, Chandler. Hey, I got a collection of 1,000 CGC slabs. And if you're OCD, you're not going to want to all of a sudden have CBCS slabs mixed in, are you? So either keep with CGC or you move forward with CBCS and you reslab all the other 1,000 books you already had done in CGC. But you're right. That is a very good point that Mr. Chandler makes. People are invested in it. They've already spent all this time on it. I think out of all my own personal collection, I might have 1 or 2 CBCS slabs. The rest are CGC. So, yeah, great point. One scenario for the fall of CGC, the PE guys chop up the different groups of businesses under the CGC umbrella and sell them for parts to get the biggest dollar on sale. Who knows? It could happen. It could happen. Consume says, more dealers and collectors need to start subbing. My last 3 subs, approximately 35 books were CBCS. The turnaround times are great and the slabs look amazing. No Newton rings or scratches. Well, I'll be honest, I don't really see Newton rings anymore. Does anybody else? Newton rings are kind of a thing of the past, but I do see scuffs and scratches. I do. And the CBCS slab, I'll give it to them. It's a hard book. The case is like a rock. You know what I mean? It's a very strong feeling case. So I do agree with you, Consume the Living, and I don't like cracking those things. They're a pain in the ass to crack too, compared to CGC. CGC slabs, I could rip them apart with my fingers pretty much. But the CBCS ones require some tools. So that's a good thing, right? But I don't know, man. And then David says, I'm sure CBCS has their issues too. Oh, of course they do. Of course they do. But let's be honest. The scammers are going to scam the big brother. They're going to scam the one where they get the most money from. Not to say that CBCS, is exempt from that or immune to potential scams. It could happen. Like a big thing with CBCS. Okay, maybe this is opening another can of worms. Is their signature verification? I know for a fact. I saw Stan Lee sign a book. I sent it in and it did not pass the verification. And I know some unscrupulous people who just they want to see if their thing could do. And I think a couple actually got through. All right. So, I mean, is that a good thing? Now, that being said, CBCS does not guarantee 100% that their signature verification is 100% accurate. They can't, right? They can't guarantee it 100%. They'll say with all probability it is the proper signature. But don't think for a second there aren't forgers out there trying to make some extra. But how much money can you make with a forged signature from CBCS? I don't even think you really. I don't think it's even worth the time or effort, to be honest. That's why this whole thing with CGC, really, if you saw those 350 books that they put out, the whole, if you saw the whole, the list of those 350 books, they were specific books, big dollar books, right? You weren't seeing New Gods 1 and a 6.0 being, you know what I'm saying? You didn't see books. Most books are probably just fine. This jackass, he knew where he could make his money, and he knew where, and he went and did that. He knew where he got his bread buttered, and he focused on certain books. And again, even Matt Nelson said that many of the books that he submitted probably are just fine. There's an AF-15 that he submitted. They suspect that book is perfectly fine. But when you see, like 25, 30 copies of ASM 300, or you see, several copies of ASM 252 with the Mark's Jewelers insert, that might raise some red flags, right? That might raise some red flags. The Red-Pilled Vegan says, everyone who sends their books to CGC should be treated equally. They want to jack up the prices and ship it out quickly, then they should have quality service when it comes to handling everything. Well, look at, you know where most of the damage can happen, guys? Where do you think most of the damage on a book would probably happen? Think of the book going from FedEx, from my place on a FedEx truck all the way to CGC. The box arrives at CGC in one piece. In that whole process, after the box arrives at CGC, where can most of the damage, in your opinion, take place? Because I have a pretty good idea where the damage probably happens. I'm not going to answer that until I see some of you guys respond to that. I'm curious to see if you guys agree with me on this one. No state income tax in Florida, so that's like $1,000 an hour. See, there's no state income tax in Florida? Wow, let's go to Florida. It's warmer, and if that's true, no state income tax, let's go. Marcos says, I don't like the way CGC operates. I don't like how they treat members and dealers, but the only time I'll stop asking for CGC is if they go out of business. Okay. Really? So there you go. Marco is addicted like the rest of us, right? It's hard to change if you're used to something, guys, it's really hard to let go. We've been using this company for 10 years, 5 years or whatever. I look at someone like Frank, and Frank's has a lot of books with CGC right now. Does he stop and go to CBCS? I don't think so. I think, he likes the way the slabs look. He knows it's full of there's issues, but he's okay with that. He has to be okay with that. He kind of expects problems, right? And we deal with them as they come. But it is a pain in the ass. It really is. So here we go. Frank says the graders. Frank thinks that the graders are where the problems can happen. Brian says unpacking and packing. Astro says receiving. Prince Zodiac says warehouse unpacking. David Clark says cost a fortune to live there. Okay, I guess I'm staying here. Well, it's pretty expensive here too. Hey, it's pretty damn expensive here too. Quality control. Spiro says, I'm going to agree because I'm thinking what Brian says, unpacking, receiving is exactly where I think that's where it happens. Prince Oda says, maybe Holdering. Both divisions are probably minimum wage workers and not necessarily comic book bingo fans. Exactly. 110%. Good for you. That's exactly what I think too. I think that when the box arrives and they unpack them, that's where the problems can happen. People not grabbing the books or taking the books out of the boxes properly. Now, I'll tell you, when people send me books, and there's over COVID, man, I was getting boxes every single day, 3 or 4 parcels a day. And I'd have these huge mountains of boxes to unpack, and I would do it. And no offense to some of you, you guys overpack. And when you overpack, you put some of you guys use like not duct tape. Actually, one guy once used tuck tape. You know what tuck tape is? The contractors use them. The red tape. It's like really adhesive, is really strong. I had one guy wrap his books in tuck tape. And yeah, that was not fun. That was not a fun thing to do. I had to be very careful. I had to use a blade to cut through the tape, and it was very stressful. Even packing tape can be stressful. You have to kind of figure out when you're unpacking a box, you got to figure out how the person packed it so you can kind of reverse it and do it properly so as not to bend or damage a book. Now, when I send my books in, like I've said this many times, I shrink wrap your books in bundles. So if you give me 4 or 5 books, they're shrink wrapped together with boards on either side. All they got to do is get a blade, slice it, open it, done. Right? Easy. I try to make it as easy as humanly possible for when these books get there to the receiving, that $16 an hour worker isn't going to F up your books or my books or our books, okay? But I agree. I think that's exactly where the problem happens in receiving. You get someone rough handling these things. It makes my heart sink when I think about it, to be honest. Louis says, inside the distribution center, my coworker used to do work for them doing maintenance tech. He used to tell me the people working, I don't want to hear this or not. Working the line used to launch, don't say that. Oh boy. Used to tell me the people working the line used to launch to boxes, big screen TVs were their favorites. So where did you work, Louis? You're not talking about CGC, like Amazon? You mean Amazon's distribution center? Marcus says, bottom line, who are you honestly going to turn to? PGX burned down their rep. CBCS can't compete on sale price. What can you do unless the fans and dealers boycott and all grading for months on end? It has to be that. It has to be we're switching teams, right? We have to switch teams. Astro Lucky, CGC. I would have sent his books back. I'm not sure what we're talking about right now. CGC is too entrenched in the hobby. It's equivalent for PSA and cards. PSA is notorious for same issues. It's really, but people stick with them. Oh, FedEx. Yeah, I've heard FedEx stuff too, man. And that terrifies me. It really, really does. You know? And it sucks for guys like me, right? Because, like, I pack them really, really well. And we take care of your books. You know, like I told you, we're meticulous when it comes to attention to detail. We look and look and look, and we work on them and work on them and work on them until we're happy. We go back and forth and back and forth. We bounce them off each other, not the books, but you know, we look at each other's work to make sure we didn't forget anything. So when we pack them up, I use the 56-point boards, pack them nice and tight, and to have that ruined by somebody because they're trying to rush to get their job done, or some bozos throwing it around in a distribution center. Oh man, that breaks my heart. The red tap guy. Oh, the red tape guy. Oh, I get you. No, I think he was one of my American clients. I felt bad. I didn't want to send him all the way back to him again. Mr. Chandler says, bubble wrap and painter's tape for packing raw books inside of the box. Yeah, that works too. Painter's tape, the blue painter's tape is great. Well, guys, I think we've kind of figured that out, right? We kind of know that for the foreseeable future, CGC, and look, if you saw Matt Nelson on that interview yesterday, he seems like a nice guy. People I know who've met him have nothing but great things to say about Matt Nelson. super nice guy, took the time to talk to me, and, blah, blah, blah. So yada, yada, yada. He's a good dude, and that's great. He probably is a very nice guy. But shit happens, right? When you're a company and you've got, I have no idea how many employees they have, but I would imagine it's in the hundreds. I wouldn't say thousands, but it's in the hundreds. I'm not including, CGC worldwide, but CGC in Sarasota. You can't watch everybody all the time. Look at me. I was thinking about bringing somebody in to do the CGC submissions for me and to do the packing of the books for me to free up some time so I can get back to pressing again more. But I'm worried to do that. I'm worried to relinquish that. And not so much the CGC submissions, but the packing of the books. I'm worried to let somebody else pack the books. I'm worried they'll screw it up. Am I a control freak? Or I'm just worried. I know when I do it, it's done right. And I don't know. All right, what's in the box? Good idea. Let's find out. Here we go. Let's find out what's in the box. Box number 3, and then I got to go. Okay, I'm looking at the back of this, a 9.8 I can see. Oh, look at that. 9.8 copy of Batman Special number 1. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Then we got an Avengers 135. That's Perez, isn't it? No, it's not Perez. That was Perez. And a 9.2 white pager, 135. That's a cool looking cover. Sorry, guys. The books aren't snapping together as they're used to doing. We got a 9.8 copy of Spider-Man 2099 in a number 1. Just looking for scuffs and things. And that's in a 9.8. That's good. We're moving right along. We've got a 9.4 copy of the first appearance of Scott Lang, right? Right? No, not the first appearance, but it says Scott Lang becomes a new Ant-Man in a 9.4. That's a book you don't see. I have not seen this book in a very long time. Graded, sent in, regraded. I love this book right here. 9.8 copy, Spider-Man 257. I like this, and it's in the first appearance of the Puma. This is the second appearance of the Puma right there. We got an Iron Man number 150. This book has actually gone up quite a bit. 9.4. 9.8 copies of this fetch a pretty penny. All right. We have another 9.8. We got a Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7. Canadian price variant. Death of Supergirl in a 9.8. Phil, if you're watching, I know you must not like that cover because I know how much you like Supergirl. Nice. 9.8. Daredevil 181. Boom. Love that right there. Consume the Living says he's a nice guy, Matt Nelson, when selling that 9.9 pre-screen. I bet. Brian Bowman says Jay-Z's investment company bought CGC. What happens if Beyonce gets a 9.8 and not a 10? Does Jay-Z shut him down? Maybe. Maybe. Joey, awesome unboxing. I will always use CGC, but a few books at a time, just in case. And with all this, I hope they fix what really needs to be fixed and not avoid the real things that need change. Yeah, look, companies need to change, right? You have to change to keep up with the times, to answer the needs and the wants and the desires of your clients, for sure. They definitely do. 9.8 copy, newsstand. Sam, look, it's back. Sam, it's back. Look. 361. I better check this one for any cracks. 2 9/8s. Holy shit. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to show you this. All right? Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this. 9.8. Nice book, right? Right here. I'm going to go close. See if you can get it. I'll try to get the reflection. Give it a second to get into focus. Right. You'll see it in a second. Hold on. Right. No. There's an actual crease. They put like some kind of like a... There. Right there. See it? Right there. Look at that. Right there. It's like somebody embossed it. Like somebody... It's not like a... That's ridiculous. 9.8 white pager. So what are you going to do? You're going to send that back? Sure, you won't send that back. No one would send that back. And a nice big giant scratch right down the side of the slab right there too. I mean, you won't be able to see that. Oh my gosh. Like seriously. That book's not a 9.8. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. Unbelievable. Ugh. David says DDA 181 was one of the first books I bought off the spinner racks. One of the very first Daredevil books I ever bought, actually. It's a gorgeous book. Love it. 9.9 Jive Turkey says problems, but a bitch ain't one. The universe is safe for another year thanks to ASM 361. Marco, that's across the whole corner. What the F? Yeah, man. You know, I mentioned that TMNT #1 third print, Steve's book. I'll be honest, it came back at 9.2, and that's fine. I figured the book would be a 9.2, 9.4, something like that. And it came back, and it came back the first time with a smashed slab. So I had to send it back, wait another month. It came back, and when it got back, I wanted to get the book back to Steve because he'd been waiting a while. So I shipped it back. I didn't really inspect it too well. I just shipped it off. So anyway, Steve gets the book back, and he notices a huge dent, thumb dent right there. I didn't notice it because, like I said, I want to get the book back to him pronto. And he was mad at me. He was mad at me initially. Right? And I said, listen, Steve, I'm going to tell you right now, that book did not leave my facility with that dent on there. There's no way in hell. That book wouldn't have passed. There's no way. And I think after he showed it to a few other people and they kind of said, yeah, that's a CGC thing. There you go, right? Like, it's happening. That kind of shit shouldn't be happening. You know what? Consumer Living has a good point there. Make it a 9.9 pre-screen candidate. That's not a bad idea, you know, that Consumer Living, because it's a 9.8 with that freaking thing in there. To get rid of that thing, it should go to a 9.9 or a 10. That's a good point, man. That's a very good point. I would send it back because no one would ever buy it. Frank, you know, you're probably right. Will I get involved in this one? I got to talk to the owner and see what they say. At this point, I think I would want to go at it with the customer. I don't want to be handling this alone. Like, I don't mind, like again, today, Brian, or, oh my gosh, I'm getting tired. Jonathan's book in Colorado, like I said, came back with the wrong label on it, completely wrong label. So, you know, I did all the work. I did a mechanical error form and sent it back. This is going to require more than a mechanical error form. This is going to take time. They're going to want pictures. They're going to want to send it back and blah, 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 blah. So we'll see. I'll talk to the owner and see what he wants to do. I'm happy to help, but I would like to, in this case, I'd probably ask the customer to make the first contact with CGC. And if they want me to ship it back, I'm happy to do that. And you know, I won't charge for that. CGC may actually pay for the shipping label, but that should not be happening. That should not be happening. And obviously, you know what? Frank he said the graders. In this case, whoever slabbed that book or put that comic into the inner well is the one who damaged the book. And that's not someone who's receiving the book. That is somebody who's like either a grader or whoever's doing the encapsulation process, who you would think would be somewhat skilled at handling comic books. Again, guys, it's very hard to find people who understand comic books to work on comic books, right? Don't think for a second every single person who works at CGC knows comic books. And I'm not slagging girls here, but if you look at they've got a lot of women working there, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. But don't tell me for a second all those women were comic book collectors when they were 14 years old. I don't believe it for a second. You know, all of you guys and myself, I know we've all been handling books for a long time. I'm not saying some young women didn't collect comic books, but when I was at the comic book shop when I was 14, there ain't no girls there, right? It was all guys, all right? And even to this day, when I go to the comic shop, I don't see girls. And on my Saturday mornings, I have one lady who comes in every once in a while, and that's it. Penny, you know you are, right? That's it. You're the only one. So, yeah, you know, and I'm not saying the girls are mishandling the books. All I'm saying is it's hard to find people who have the years and years and years of experience handling a comic, knowing how to hold the comic, handle the comic, even put the comic in a friggin' bag, you know, and on the board. You know, it takes practice, right? So, Mr. Shelley, gotta love that CGC quality control. Yep, no one going to buy it. 99 pre-screen candidate. Okay, I said that already. It would sell for a 9694 price tag. Prince Zodiac is crying. And so am I. Let's see what else we got here. Any more surprises? Let's find out. We got a 9.8 copy of Web of Spider-Man 90. This one here is in a green qualified label because it has the manufacturers there. There's no hologram on there. We also have a 9.2 copy of Spider-Man number 1. And then another one in a 9.8. See, that makes me suspect right there. Why is one a 9.2 and one a 9.8? So now I'm going to have a closer look at this one, guys. Let's have a closer look and see what's going on. Why is this a 9.2? And that one a 9.8? Okay, I'm not seeing any physical dents or dings or damage. Yeah. Is that something there? Is there some sticky stuff? I'm going to have to check the grader's notes on this one. There's a bit of gunk on there, it looks like. Because that's a nice looking book. Don't understand that. All right, let's keep going. Oh, and another 361. And another 9.8. Look at that, Sam. That's 3. 3. That is an omen stating that the comic book market is going to turn around. So hold your comics tight, my friends, because the values are going to just skyrocket in the next 3 or 4 months. We've got a Simpsons book here in a 9.6. And I think we've got another... Oh, I love that one book. Another Daredevil 181. Another Daredevil 181 in a 9.8. It's a different copy right there. And this is an awesome... I love this book, right? The Juggernaut book right here. ASM 230 in a 9.8. That's a beaut. That is a beaut right there. I've always loved that cover. That's sick. We also have a Walt Disney Goofy Adventures in a 9.8. Whoop. Did I break that slab? No, I didn't. In a 9.8. And then we have a Futurama number 1, also in a 9.8. And then we got a DuckTales in a 9.8. Gonna start putting these away like this. We have a Young Avengers number 1 in a 9.2. And we have The Boys in in an 8.0. Donald Duck in a 9.6. These are from 1990. Marvel Team Up featuring Spider-Man and Invincible in a 9.6. I am not a fan of those types of team-ups. I don't know. I just never liked when publishers crossed over their characters. And this is the last book, guys, of the night, right here. Batman Adventures #1 in a 9.8. There you go. We did 3.5 boxes. That's 25, 50, 75. Just under 100 books tonight, my friends. No super duper big, massive books. But yeah, not bad. David Clark says hit the like button. That'd be nice. 35 likes. 57 of you in here right now. Hit that like button, my friends. Hit that like button. 9.2 instead of a 9.8. Rusty Staple. I got dinged by one of those. I missed. I will have a look. It's coming back up again, I think. I think I found what may have done it. But yeah. Read the grader's notes. That's what I will do as well. And then David Clark says green is a manufacturer error. Yes, green will also constitute... like, for example, I had an X-Men 266 sometimes has one staple. And really, I've gotten that back as a 9.8 blue. I've also gotten those back as a 9.8 green. Manufacturer's error that the one staple missing. So, yeah, it just depends, right? But I'm going to have a look here and see if there is a rust. Oh, did I already put it away? No, I'll find it later. But yeah, this one here is supposed to have a hologram, right, on that cover, and that's a manufacturer's error, and that the hologram obviously is missing, right? So there you go. So that's that. One more 361 and the Grand Slam. Let's go. Yep. Consuming another weird CGC thing. Some errors get blue and some, yeah, that's always been a bone of contention as well. The consistency with their green. I don't understand why sometimes a book will get green and other times it'll get a blue. And, you know, like, what the hell? You know, like if it's like you just can't change it willy-nilly. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Even the whole non-verified signature thing, to me, forget that. It's not an error. Right? It's not missing anything. It's got an unverified signature. So give it a blue label and hit it. Like if it's a 9.8, give it a 9.4 or a 9.6 because there's a signature that's unverified on it. That's what I would do. Forget the green. That makes no sense. Green is to me, it should be there. If it's missing something, like this one's missing that friggin' hologram, or if it's, missing, like something's been cut out of it or whatever, that's when you should have a qualified label. In my opinion, in my humble opinion. Frank, so far nothing yet, Kevin, of my hopefully next order coming back to you. I have another 2.5 boxes as well that I just couldn't do tonight, guys. I may actually do those books on a pre-recorded video and upload that for next week. And then if I can get through them, I'll get them processed this week so I can get them back to you sooner. Prince says, have a good night, Doc. See you later. You got it, Doc. Prince Zodiac, good to see you again. Nikki Blaze says, my ASM 194 came back at 9.6. Oh, well, it was worth a shot. Yeah, Nikki, it sucks. I was hoping to get you that 9.8. That was a crack and press. Like I said, it doesn't always work. It's a bit of a gamble sometimes. I'm actually okay when they come back the same grade. It's when they go down, and they do go down sometimes. That's what really stinks. Listen, guys, thanks so much for coming out tonight. It was great being here with you. Hope you enjoyed that pretty long, arduous unboxing and a good conversation about CGC and whether or not any other company has a chance of ever overtaking them as the industry standard in third-party grading. At the moment, doesn't look like that's the case, but you never know. Time will tell. Stranger things have happened, right? My friends, remember to join me again this Thursday at 8:30. I'm back again here with Swagglehouse. We are going to be talking about trends and speculation and maybe even some MCU discussions. I don't know. That's the kind of stuff I like to talk about. And you know what? I'm sure someone will ask a question regarding the scandal at CGC. But be sure to be here again this Thursday at 8:30. I have no idea how long that stream will go. Probably 45 minutes to an hour. I don't want to keep him too long. He's a busy fella. But anyways, guys, again, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Bye for now. See ya.